Welcome to Speakernomics, the official podcast of the National Speakers Association, brought to you by Leadership Books. I am Kenneth Kinney, but friends call me Shark. And like you, I am a professional speaker, and I love listening to Speakernomics. It's the professional speaker show that will help you thrive and grow a speaking business so you too can change the world, one keynote, session, workshop, and speech at a time. And on today's episode, we're going to speak with Ruby Newell-Legner. For 3 decades, Ruby's been a speaker, trainer, consultant, and a fan experience expert, leading sports, leisure, and entertainment companies through 7-star service solutions to amplify their brand and bottom line. And on top of being a CSP, she has also served as the national president of the National Speakers Association. She is also the president-elect of the Global Speakers Federation. But most importantly, she is a recipient of the Cavett Award, which is the NSA's most cherished award, named after the association's founder, Cavett Robert. Ruby, I'm a fan. Welcome to Speakernomics. How are you today?
I am doing fabulous.
Well, now to all my speaking friends, from a speaking perspective, what does it mean to be truly customer focused? Many of us speak about customer experience and customer service, and we're free to preach. But are we delivering that same level of service to the audiences, meeting planners, and others that we serve, even in NSA? When you apply a framework and do it right, it might just propel your speaking business forward. And before we jump in, make sure to go to speakernomics.com. That's where you can find the tips, insights, and knowledge to help you become a better speaker, build a better business, and get paid to speak. Ruby, let's dive in. First off, what is 7-star service?
7-star service was named after the frequently referred to 7-star hotel in Dubai, United Arab Emirates. I've been doing training over there since 2005. And my first experience was so extraordinary. And, you know, Shark, I grew up in a customer service world. My mother was a restaurant manager. So I lived and breathed from the time I could walk. I heard these stories about customer service my whole life. And when I had the opportunity to go to Dubai and speak over there, I was just enamored with the service level and was so impressed that I changed my company from Ruby Speaks to 7-star service based on that experience.
That must have been interesting too in 2005. That was just a few years after 9/11, but I'm sure that the environment must have been interesting to say the least.
Oh, it was fascinating. And I actually was very nervous. I will admit, I was very nervous. I was actually, how the opportunity came around was I'd spoken for the International Association of Amusement Parks and Attractions. The person who runs the water park in Dubai, Wild Wadi Water Park, she reached out and she said, I had a couple questions and can I use your material? And I had just booked an engagement through GE to do training over in India. And I mentioned I was coming over to India, which would be on her side of the world. And she says, well, why don't you stop by on your way home? Okay. Kind of like going to the mall, stop by on the way home. Okay. So 9 hours from India, popped over to Dubai and had my first experience. And I tell you, it was something else.
I bet. So how does the 7 pillars for 7-star service really apply to speakers?
I believe that the 7-star service philosophy, the pillars, like you call them, are really hallmarks of what we can do in our business. You have a very clear vision. You're going to know what you're supposed to do and have a why behind your company. You also have to have the cycles of service, is what I call them. Some people call it a customer journey, but we have to know all of the elements. Like when we book a new engagement, we have the warm up, the details, the follow up, the making sure we have all the details that are going into the contract, as well as to the delivery of it, and really serving our customers. And the next one is know your customers. So if we understand the needs of our customers and what they really want to get out of an experience and what we are being brought in for, we can better deliver those opportunities. Then some of the other pillars are about how you treat the people around you. In 7-star service, it happens to be around the employees and making sure that you're, from recruitment to retirement, really working on their career development and supporting them in their endeavors. And likewise, we need to support those around us and build those relationships. So creating one team is another one. And that is making sure that everybody on their team, when you go to speak, whether it's a training program or even a keynote, we work with so many different partners. The AV team is very crucial in our business. And, I've actually seen earlier in my career, I saw quite a few people who were rude to the people that will make them look good. I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense to me. Why are you doing that? That you're a partner with them, and whatever the meeting planner needs, that's how you serve them. And finally, honor the loyalty and retention by recognizing the accomplishments and the people that are around you that are really going to make a big difference in your life.
I'm curious, when you do an engagement, I'm sure this because you have written this out and practice this every day, and this is part of your mindset, but do you go through any sort of checklist to keep all these things in mind when you go to make certain to, take care of your AV team? Because it's little things that people forget that can really cause a lot of angst for others.
Shark, you're a wise man. Yes, I have a 37-step checklist that I use every engagement, and it's automatically put into my CRM. So after you book an engagement, there are things that happen 30 days before, 90 days before, however much room I have in the engagement. I know they're booking sooner, closer to the engagement time now. And then also afterwards. So those 37 steps, if they weren't automatic, I might forget them, but it's programmed into my task to pop up. And that really helps because then I don't miss any of those elements.
Well, I don't know if I'm as wise as I am knowledgeable that I'm forgetful. So I keep it that way. So as speakers, we often hear and think about fixing a specific problem. And you speak for associations and work with franchises from small businesses to major sports and entertainment venues. It's amazing the folks that you've worked with. You work with some of my favorite groups like amusement parks and aquariums, sports teams and such. How do you apply 7-star service strategies to those diverse groups, and how has that helped you grow your speaking business?
Traditionally, I go in and find out specifically what their needs are and where their areas of growth need to be. Mostly I do a secret shop beforehand before people know me. And so I get firsthand experience of what it's like to be a customer in their venue. And that really gives me the insight, in addition to interviewing the leaders to find out where their pain points are. And I think that if you could overarch it, I would say across the board, one of the challenges in the sports, leisure, and entertainment world is people really don't have the concept of how important that employee is. So they are really focused on the customer, but they forget that the person serving that customer, usually frontline service, is the key and the reputation of the brand. So we help them understand how important that is and how they make the decisions, how they set up their protocols, how all of the things around an engagement are really important to making that customer service experience positive for the employee as well as the customer on the end run. Happy employees or happy customers. So makes a big difference.
Just as a follow-up to that, how do you sort of level set with coming into this, whether it's through a keynote or a training workshop? How do you make certain that people are receptive to hearing this advice? Because a lot of sports teams have a customer experience person on their staff, but they still have customer experience issues, customer service issues, same across the board in all types of fields. Sometimes it's also getting them to be receptive to the advice and knowledge that you bring.
I think we demonstrate as an entrepreneur, we demonstrate our ability to connect by listening to them. And I like to be the example. So if I'm a good listener and I write things down that they're saying, I repeat some of their words back to them and really connect with them that way, there's a better chance that they're going to listen to me when it's my turn to talk. But if you go in and try to be I'm just going to tell you what you need, they're not going to be around that. So luckily, about 92% of my clients are referrals. So the people that have recommended me really set me up for success by their experience. And I find that really helps so that they already know me before I get there. And they know that their buddies had a good, in sports, it's all about relationships. And in a lot of businesses it is too. But so if somebody has recommended me that they are good friends with or mentors with or, colleagues with, then there's a better chance they're going to listen to me when I go in. So developing those relationships is really important, connecting with them and finding out what their pains are and honestly listening to them instead of going in. I mean, it'd be very easy for me to go in and do a cookie cutter program, and some of my competitors do that. I don't. I find out what their needs are first. I do a lot of interviewing, and like I said, I do the secret shopping and talk to each one of the department heads, and then I really find out where their pain points are so that I can help them. So once they understand that I'm invested in it, there's a better chance they're going to trust me with my recommendations.
That's great. So I want to talk a little bit about the Cavett Award. So it just so happens that when we'll drop this episode is right around when Professional Speaker Celebration Day, which is March 14th, and it's the day to celebrate worldwide Pi 3.14. It ties into the motto of Cavett Robert, don't worry about how we divide up the pie. There's enough for everybody. Let's just make it a bigger pie. How do you go about achieving that award? And I mean, that must have been an honor. I was there to see you receive the award in Nashville at Influence a couple of years ago, or a year and a half ago or so. But talk about that award and what that's meant to you.
Oh, wow. Those of you who are listening are predicting me to cry. I'm going to try to make it through this without that. But I tell you, honor of a lifetime, no doubt. Cavett Robert did such an amazing job of really setting us up for success with the pie analogy. I mean, what a perfect day to celebrate Professional Speaker Celebration Day on 3/14 Pie Day. And we created that. Actually, Dr. John Molidor recommended that for the Global Speakers Federation and did a proposal on it to make sure that everybody was, right on board and wanted to support it. And of course, our very own Sylvie DeGiusto, CSP, she really did a great job of that first year, put a playbook together for us and honoring it. But it's all about giving back and about really serving the people who are helping us every single day. So, I love the people that helped me get to where I am in my profession. So it would just make sense that you would give back and do the same for the next generation of speakers that are coming through. So I think the Cavett Award is really about servant leadership, and it's about setting setting your goals to really get out there and make a difference in the chapters, in the profession, and even for those speakers that we come along that speak beside us that don't know about NSA. It's about spreading the word and really helping. And Cavett Robert did that for us, so it's our job to do that for other people. And I tell you, what an honor it was to get that. I'd been told many years that I had been nominated, and so I did have a speech prepared because I had it for the last 3 years, but nobody knows that. Yes, actually they do. And then of course I get up there and I'm reading, and I left out my mastermind groups. Oh my gosh, I felt so bad. I had so many mastermind groups that really, really helped me in this whole process. So it was in speech. I just skipped right over it. And I'm like, I've been a guilt over that since I did that. But now's my chance to say thank you to all the people that I served and shared time with in our mastermind groups, because when you get together with colleagues in this business, we are so giving, and we'll save people from making the mistakes that we did, and we'll also make sure that the next person benefits from the things that have worked well for you. So hope that was a good answer for you. And
perfect. Well, I've got a follow-up to that. I see Cavett right over your right shoulder there with the award, but I'm not asking how the award itself has helped your speaking business. It's not like an Oscar where you go out there and tell everybody you're an Oscar-winning actor, actress, or speaker, but how has living and working in a way that you've been recognized as a recipient helped your speaking business?
It's really motivated me to continue doing what I do, and that giving back, I feed on it. I love to help people. I love to help my clients. So the philosophy of helping our own association grow so that we can grow, it makes sense. So I think it was such an honor to be recognized for the years that I've given back, and it even encouraged me to continue to do so in so many different ways. So it was definitely a highlight of my life to be able to be recognized and to be with the people that I have looked up to for so many years and learned from.
25 years ago, Cigar Peg started as a spark, an idea to combine networking with philanthropy. Today, we stand proud as a beacon of inspiration, having raised over $865,000 for charities. Join us as we toast our 25th anniversary. Experience the power of connection, the joy of giving, and the strength of community. Visit us at cigarpeg.com/join.
Well, a question that I want to ask you from a previous guest, and I'm paraphrasing here, but what is something that you are doing because you heard it was a good idea, maybe accepted it as is, or decided to investigate it by asking others? What's one that you probably bought into though early in your speaking business that came from hearing what other people were doing?
Well, Shark, I'll tell you, I'm a learner. I love to learn. I'm a junkie. I watch probably 5 or 6 webinars a week. Watch videos, and I really want to learn. And so, because I have that insatiable desire to improve myself and develop, I think everybody else is like that. So, of course, when the online learning pieces came out, and people were really starting to talk about it years ago, I went to the NFL and I said, this is great. You can do your onboarding. You can really put out the pieces that people need to grow in their business and help you, with safety and all the different protocols that we go through in sports. And I really thought that everybody would grasp it like I did. Not so much. So for many years, I tried and tried and tried, and I wasn't going to build something until I knew I had a client that's going to purchase it. So I think we're finally there. But I will tell you, for the last 2 years, I've been working with, I have 19 clients that were in Dubai that are now moving over to Saudi Arabia to develop the Giga projects that the Crown Prince is working on. And I really thought my role would be to create online learning for them, because they have massive numbers of people that they need to train. And so for the last 2 years, I've been working on it continuously, thinking, okay, the NFL didn't want to, other clients weren't really ready for it. But I think now's the time it's going to happen. Well, maybe not. But I do believe that there's opportunities there. But because I kept in touch with all those people, even though I was trying to do something else, now my opportunities are opening up, and I'm starting a partnership with a company over there to create a customer experience company and to serve all the people that are over there. So I would say, in long answer to your question, but in a nutshell, people aren't always ready for the latest and greatest thing, but if you believe in it, and if you keep delivering it in a way that's going to show their value, it's really going to make a difference. And I think that sometimes we weren't ready. Before COVID, nobody knew that we could do this. It was like, well, they did. A couple people did, but not very many people embraced it like we have afterwards. So you look at the bright side of COVID, that helped us learn that learning is great and we can do it online. It doesn't have to be in person. So it stretched how we can deliver, and that learning management, and the ability to be a servant provider through a different delivery method is really a cool thing. So I'm still on it. They told me early on that it was going to work, and I believe it will someday. It's just not quite there for my clients, but we're getting there.
Well, Ruby, what is a question that you would like to ask a future guest on this show?
Oh, wow. Well, we talked so much about Cavett Robert and what he did for us. So I would like to ask the next person that you interview, what are they doing to give back to our profession to make it better? How are they building that bigger pie?
That's fantastic. All right, let's do a quick recap based on Ruby's 7-star advice. One, this one's a little bit for me because it was something that just came up last week. Put a framework together to deliver a 7-star service. Ruby's got 37 points. It's very easy to forget all the things you need to do to make a group and an event and the AV team and everybody successful. Write it down and make that part of your experience level to them. Number 2, find experience points for your clients to help them grow, connect with their audience, listen, find out what their needs are first. And number 3, the Cavett Award is obviously the honor of a lifetime and a message for all of us. Let's give back. Ruby, any closing thoughts before we close the show, drop the mic, and head off for some 7-star resorts in Dubai?
I love it. Shark, first of all, let me say thank you for the opportunity to share. Nominations always open up for the Cavett Award April 1st every year. So watch your inbox for the newsletter that'll come out and announce that. But if not, go to the website April 1st and the nominations will be open. So do nominate. And remember that we have the values. Now the nomination is based on the values of NSA, the abundance, generosity, elevating excellence. I've got it listed here on my monitor because it's so important to me. Intentional language, honorable innovation, and uplifting humanity. I think that if we really look at those values and how important they are to NSA and how important they are to people who are really striving in this business, we can really make a difference for each other and for the world.
Agreed. Friends, make sure to go to speakernomics.com and let your voice be heard. Thank you to Leadership Books for sponsoring this episode. I am Kenneth Shark Kinney, your host of the National Speakers Association's podcast, Speakernomics. And this has been another fantastic episode of the show. To everyone listening, thank you for the privilege of your time. And remember, Speakernomics is a podcast where you'll learn to speak, get paid, repeat.